Hello everyone, Dale here with a special unopening, unboxing, something for this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate collectible card pack. Little bonus that came with the Splintered Fate physical edition on Switch. I've been trying to hunt down the Switch version lately, but it's not on Amazon, only Xbox version. Pretty weird, but may have to remedy that. May do some other special bonus turtle love here, before we jump into this card opening here to see the 10 cards and be in and out of this in a minute. That wouldn't be fun. Give a shout out. If you're not here, that's background music is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time vinyl record I got playing on my little speaker system. Got it playing on low here for a little ambiance. This is done by I Am 8-Bit. Love the vinyl for it. Some nice pixel art of course, that epic battle reminiscent where you gotta beat Shredder in the Technodrome by chucking Foot Clan members right at the first-person perspective of Shredder there in the cockpit. Yeah, what a great battle. Great record. Nice translucent green vinyl with pizza in the middle. Love this, and wait for it. Oh, wait, no, I thought, if I remember right. Okay, yeah, there's no track listing on the back for this. I thought they include the voice interstitials there saying, Big Apple, 3 a.m. But I am wrong. Maybe in another one, or maybe they'll be coming here soon. But I love this I Am 8-Bit edition of the Turtles 4 soundtrack. And yeah, I guess before we open the cards, want to say that I'm a pretty interesting Turtles fan, or I wouldn't say I'm a diehard, ardent fan, but, I grew up with them. I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up with the Turtles, the classic Saturday morning cartoon that went from late 80s into the late 90s, 9 or 10 years. I do not have the DVDs. I know a friend that has the big Turtle Van DVD collector set. That's a little too hardcore for me, but I played a ton of the arcade games growing up, and a lot of the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. I have a bunch of them, but I thought I'd just highlight, not including Splintered Fate. I think that's not the only one I don't have. There's a ton of Switch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, and speaking of this epic soundtrack we got going on, we got to make sure to give a shout out to the Cowabunga collection. I highly recommend you get this digitally or physically, doesn't matter. Konami put together a heck of a collection. They have all the classic Turtles games. It doesn't even list them on the back. There's not that many, but it has both arcade and home console versions of both the original arcade game and the NES port, as well as Turtles in Time, the soundtrack you're listening to right now, the arcade port and the Super Nintendo port. And it's interesting they have both of those because if you're ardent fans like me, you know that the console versions, they didn't want to, if they were going to do a direct arcade port, you would have plowed through it and beat it with no continues in an hour. So they extended some levels, added some extra boss fights. I want to say for the arcade game, they added both the mutant and human forms of Baxter Stockman, or at least a mutant form, then some new bosses like Tora, and a couple of others too. So, and some extended levels too. And then when you get to the arcade game, gosh, what a great! It's like they fully capitalized on an awesome arcade game in the first game, and just really nailed all those little intricacies with extra little things you could do. Like, again, you heard me talk about that awesome Shredder arcade boss battle. Actually, that was exclusive for the Super Nintendo version, and they also added a Bebop and Rocksteady in pirate form. Exclusive boss battle in the Super Nintendo version, not in the arcade game. And it's great they have both the arcade and Super Nintendo games on here. And then you got the NES exclusive, the Manhattan Project, where you get to see the Turtles go all around. You see them fight foot soldiers in the sand. They got Foot Clan soldiers that toss sand at you. You love it. And yeah, Shredder just completely, he took away Manhattan Island and just went away with it. Then you got the Genesis, kind of like a remix of the arcade game, the Manhattan Project, and Turtles in Time Hyperstone Heist. Very interesting. Go back and play that. It's kind of like a greatest hits of Turtles the arcade game, Manhattan Project, and Turtles in Time. All kind of like even I think they got their own exclusive boss battle or two, or a couple certain segments, and that's on here as well. And then you have the tournament fighters, which are the great. I remember reading that magazines as a kid back then, all the hype building up tournament fighters on Genesis and Super Nintendo, hell, and even Nintendo as well, as like the Turtles' answer to Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat. Highly recommend playing the Super Nintendo version. It's, I think, the more fully realized of the two versions there. You get a good amount of characters in that one too, and it feels a lot like Street Fighter 2. They really went all out with a combo system and like the backgrounds, trying to make it feel like Konami's bringing it to Street Fighter. The Genesis version is a little off with the 3 buttons format they use with their controller, and then they got this weird solar system traveling around in their mode. I mean, it plays fine, but yeah, the Super Nintendo version is great, and they even have the NES version, Konami's last game for the original Nintendo. And, you know, it's the only fighting game that released on the Nintendo after the Street Fighter 2 boom. You have some of like the fighting game pioneers on the NES, like, you know, oh my gosh, Urban Champion and like the alternate game mode in the original Double Dragon. You know, but yeah, Tournament Fighters is the only one that released on Nintendo after we kind of saw the fighting game genre came into its own. And, you know, they got a lot out of the Nintendo with just a 2-button controller to make a fighting game out of it with 7 characters. The NES version even has an exclusive character in the form of Casey Jones. Then you also have the 3 Game Boy Turtles on here also. So yeah, those the 3 Game Boy Turtle games as well. So yeah, great collection in this. You got to get this Cowabunga collection digitally or physically. And then this came out just last year from Game Mill, like a 3 or 4 year old arcade port, Wrath of the Mutants. What a great port. It's pretty much like a nice, if you've watched the Nickelodeon version of the CG animated series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's what this arcade game is based off of, with the characters off this. Again, it's like a loving homage to Turtles in Time. I wouldn't say it's as great, but it plays pretty smooth, and yeah, I put a good amount of time into this. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's just like the arcade game, just for a new generation, based off the CG version of the Nickelodeon animated series from several years to a decade ago. I have not had a chance to put much time into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. I heard this is not as good yet, so I cannot really comment about this. But yeah, 2-player co-op. I think it's more supposed to, if I remember right, like a updated, like a 3D brawler. Remember how they tried the brawler, the beat 'em up genre, tried to make a go of it into 3D with like Die Hard Arcade, Dynamite Cop, Zombies Revenge, Winback, Fighting. Oh gosh, what's that Eidos one? Fighting Force, I believe. They were okay, but it just never exploded, and it kind of withered away after a few years, unfortunately. I think that's what Mutants Unleashed is trying to be. And then you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and then the Ultimate Edition, which has some DLC, extra few levels, and some extra characters. You use Usagi Yojimbo, and Cry, Casey Jones, April O'Neil. Gosh, these are awesome, kind of brand new brawler by the developers at Tribute. The guys who came all the way from Wazorb, the loving Arkanoid and Breakout little fantasy take on that Brick Breaker game, and they came all this way to make just these incredible modern day takes on the brawlers that I think fans wanted, that you grew up with. They have as you can see, they got the awesome kind of like homage to the Saturday morning cartoon look and feel of the character sprites you can see here on the back. And the game, I beat Shredder's Revenge, and they have really more intricate fighting systems. I want to say it's like super in-depth, but they got more combos, more enhanced versions to play from here. And yeah, you can't go wrong with either this or the Ultimate Edition. Again, get the digital version. It's a lot cheaper now. I think this is just a limited run games physical joint, so it's kind of hard to track down now unless you were to go off eBay or to get a used version online. But yeah, really phenomenal brawlers, and again, lots of loving little homages there with like the way they have the Foot Clan soldiers hanging out in the background. and so many cool things. So, and that brings us to Splintered Fate. Again, I do not have the game yet, but from what I understand, it's a 4-player online co-op, or I think local split-screen co-op, like a Diablo roguelite type action hack and slash RPG. I heard good things, but let's dive in. Let's open this card pack and see what cards await us here. It's the first time ever doing an opening on here. Again, big thank you to Justine for hooking it up for a card pack opening. Collectible game card. So I guess this is a collectible card game, you know, like a Magic type game, but with the turtles. So here we have April O'Neil, again having that awesome look to her Saturday morning cartoon with the yellow jacket. Love it. What do we have next here? Critical hit chance, yeah, collectible card game. I had no idea there was an actual collectible card game. I'm guessing there's a starter deck you can buy here to make it all out. Casey Jones. Can't go wrong with Casey Jones. Donatello. Do we get all 4 turtles here? I wonder if you could play the actual game with just this pack. I doubt it, but the way I'm getting these cards, it looks like we're getting all the big star-studded cast here. Karai, daughter of Shredder, or granddaughter of Shredder, depending on what you're reading. She's in some of those turtles. She's in Shredder's Revenge, and I believe in the Super Nintendo version of Tournament Fighters. Leonardo. Loving this artwork. Looks like a nice kind of a nice hybrid here. You can see Michelangelo as well. Raphael. Like they're capturing that right blend of the Saturday morning cartoon style and the original Mirage style. Like a colored version of the 80s run of the Mirage comics. I love it. Okay, yeah, speaking of the Saturday morning cartoon, Bebop and Rocksteady are lovable knucklehead bosses, opening bosses from the arcade game. Loving this artwork. Oh, here we go. The one, the only, the diabolical, the vile arch nemesis of the Turtles. The one, the only Shredder. And finally, our sensei, Master Splinter. There you go. That's our card pack opening for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. And, you know, I did on my channel earlier, since I'm a nerd for video game vinyl music, you hear me playing this I Am 8-Bit vinyl. Well, not too long ago, for Turtles in Time, a year or two ago, Limited Run Games did vinyls for pretty much all the games featured in the Cowabunga collection. And well, let's just run through these real quick. Original NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Oh my gosh, what an awesomely evil action platformer. And they kind of got the original, kind of like a nice homage to the game box art, there, where they have the track listing there and kind of the description of the game, the CRT picture. Just got a basic black vinyl record here. But some of these limited run games, they put out the pre-orders for these like individually, one at a time, and depending on how fast you're able to pre-order, sometimes I was able to get the nice kind of translucent colored vinyl, or sometimes just like the basic black one there. But you heard me reference here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Love that cover art. They're just coming right at you. Both the Nintendo and arcade soundtracks. Again, it's got the boring black vinyl, but that's a-okay. The songs are where it's at. Next up, the third and final, well, at least of the beat-em-ups for the Turtles games on NES, Manhattan Project. Kind of has that more signature Konami silver border there for their more star-studded NES games. And here, I actually got the translucent green vinyl for the Manhattan Project. Good stuff. Again, great great brawler on the NES. No one really talked about because it came out alongside Turtles in Time, and everyone was after the more newer shiny game. Do not skip over Manhattan Project and the Cowabunga collection. Here we got Fall of the Foot Clan, the first of 3 Game Boy games. Got the translucent green vinyl. I only have one of the 3 Turtles games on Game Boy. I think I played this one. I don't believe this is one I have. They're just side scroller. They're not like brawlers. They're more like action platformers. At least 2 of the 3 are. This is the one I have. Back from the Sewers. Again, I think I was able to get it. I want to say I got, the translucent green vinyls for all these because they're probably not as sought after. Pretty straightforward. The first 2 Game Boy games are straightforward action platformers. Again, just nice description there with the track listings. I kind of dabbled with them. They are on the Cowabunga collection. Try away, blast away at them. Good. Especially take advantage of them with the save states now. Radical Rescue is a little bit of a different game on the Game Boy. Again, got the translucent green vinyl. Love it. This one is really interesting because it's the Turtles' take on a Metroid game. You play each of the 4 turtles individually through certain spots. I want to say each turtle can do, as you can see here, use a fortress map to navigate through places unseen, find valuable items, do a little bit of backtracking, and you can find your way through certain parts by playing levels differently than you did before by getting different ID cards. And it's kind of like a light Metroidvania type experience for the turtles. I know they did do one of those on the PS3 and 360. I want to say it was called, Ooze was in the title. I can tell you that. I can't tell you the name off the top of my head. And then here we go, the Limited Run Games edition of Turtles in Time. A little bit different. This one actually has the voiced interstitials that I thought the I Am 8-Bit one has, but this one doesn't. I actually got the translucent green version, you can see here. Multi-disc. Or multi-record, because again, the arcade and the Super Nintendo version in-house of the soundtrack. Good stuff. Then here we go, Hyperstone Heist. Again, you heard me say it was like the Genesis Best Of remix. Alright, I had to take a quick time out there, but we are back, and I just swapped records. We are now listening to the Hyperstone Heist soundtrack here that I just got done talking about. Should just wrap this up in just a minute or so here. Again, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters Limited Run Games vinyl. This one, it's a monster. It's a trifle because they have everything. As you can see on here, track listing for the NES version, the Super Nintendo version, and the Genesis version. You heard me mention all the differences. And I just realized my record player is playing at a slower speed. I believe that's the right speed to play this at. Sometimes they do that. Okay, that's Hyperstone Heist we are listening to now at just a record speed. But yeah, as you can see here, all 3 versions, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. Limited Run Games make me pay an arm and a leg for all these vinyls. All the cover art's represented. And again, what they were able to work out on the Nintendo, translucent green vinyls. Doing good stuff. Tournament Fighters, it's fun, but it just doesn't have the legs, I believe, as other fighting games from its time. I do enjoy my time with it. And I actually revisited the Nintendo version not that long ago. And then, oh my gosh, Shredder's Revenge, Limited Run Games. Look at this cover art. You can see some of the graphics there that they're capable of. Tribute games, the developers. What a nice collage. And I wish I could play this. This has a few songs that have lyrics. You can see the Chef and Ghostface Killa do a song. Mega Ran, great video game remix specialist doing a track in here as well. Johnny Atma, Anton Karaza, fully loaded vinyl set here. 2 vinyls, great stuff, and I'm guessing this is, oh no, no translucent green, just plain old black vinyl. And I think Limited Run Games got the most out of this for vinyls because they did a vinyl for the DLC Dimension Shell Shock. So I did not play the DLC yet. Boring black vinyl. And then finally, if 2 vinyl releases for Shredder's Revenge wasn't enough, they did a 3rd one, Radical Remixes. So yeah, great art. And yeah, they released a remixed soundtrack as free DLC for the game. If you update your copy of Shredder's Revenge on whatever platform you're playing on, you get this free updated soundtrack. But if you're a glutton for punishment on your wallet like me, you got the vinyl, but I did not shell out for the translucent green version. Or I was not quick enough to pre-order it. Or maybe a little bit of a combination of both. But yeah, there, I believe that's all of the vinyls for the Turtles. I will say I'm enjoying reading the Turtles. I'm an off and on reader of the comics. I have not read a ton of them. I grew up reading some of the Archie comics as a kid. And I read some of the Mirage comics. I have the final issue, and I have like the 5th printing of the original issue that I think was like the orange one, where it has a great issue. I know I'm in a graphic novel book club that I think a few of the people listening may be a part of as well. Shout out to them. We led the last Ronin in there. I absolutely loved that story. And after reading it, it inspired me to check out from our local library. I've been reading the IDW run of the graphic novels. I'm currently on volume 5 here. Really loving IDW's take. Again, it's a right blend of the Saturday morning cartoon, the lighthearted show, but has a good little bit of a dose of serious, mature type artwork. There are little splashes of blood here and there, little bits of gore for the IDW runs here. Yeah, as you can see some of the artwork in here. So yeah, last Ronin inspired me to get into the IDW run of the graphic novel. So working my way through those. I think there's like 20 installments. It's absurd. So yeah, that's where I am at with those. But yeah, people listening to this, thanks for taking the time to hear me nerd out on my fandom here for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Watch me taking the card pack opening. Thank you again, Justine, and hearing me nerd out about the games and the vinyl records. I'll wrap this up because I don't have much memory left on the phone to record any longer. Again, sorry for the lo-fi production values with the lighting and whatnot, but thanks again for taking this in with me. And I think I have linked in this a breakdown of all the Phoenix Wright vinyl records I have as well. So if you want hearing more dumb video game music and hear me nerd out about more of it, check out the link for that. I think I'll have the pop-up, should be popping up right now, my breakdown of the Phoenix Wright vinyl soundtracks. All right, take care everyone, have a great rest of your day.